to TWF Dynamite, or Mike. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone, and with Taz. And today on Dynamite, or Mike, we're going to have Father Yule, or Santa Claus, here today on Dynamite, or Mike, Michael Cole says. And it's always good to see Santa Claus around, don't you think? Yes, Tony Schiavone says, it's always good to see Father Yule around. And I wonder what he says, or what he's going to do here today on Dynamite, or Mike. I can tell you right now, Taz says, Santa Claus is only grounds, of any skilled wrestling business, is to get beat up. That's the only thing, that's ever happened to him. Ho, ho, ho. Happy Yule. I know it's not Yule yet. I know it's the 11th month. The month of Thanksgiving, or at least the Thanksgiving and the 4-1 rights, which is truly unlike from the Thanksgiving in the settled land. But I say that all my work starts around this time. I mean, this is a time where I start, looking at my gift list, and this is also a time where I start looking at my good and bad list. You're thinking, do I still have a good and bad list? Yeah, I do. But I'm not the one putting the names on a good and bad list. That's God and Jesus doing. And then, and then I gotta get all that shit ready. And then comes the 12th month, of really where all the true fun begins. Because then I have to fly around the world, not only once, but 2 times. I gotta go around the world once for Yule for Western Christendom in the 12th month, and then for Yule and Eastern Christendom in the 1st month. So, no. And I want to say that everyone has been alright. And I know some of you folks out there, are most likely going to scathe me for the following things. Oh, you have, why do you, I know when you're awake and I know when you're asleep. Yeah, I know when someone's been bad or good, and that's as far as what I know. And this whole thing about how, I'm coming into houses and putting gifts, underneath the tree. Well, that's how I have to do it. I've always had to come into houses to do it, either through the smokestack, through the firestead, or through the lead door of the house. That's how it goes. Hey, look, it's Medusa. Father Yule, I know you can't see me, and I know I'm kind of small, and you're big. But I do want to say that this year, I do want to say I'm happy to see you. Well, Medusa, I'm happy to see you too. And what I want for you this year is if there is some way that you can, take all these snakes out of my hair. Well, I'm sorry about that, Medusa. I can't do something like that. There are just some things that I can't do. Well, I thought you had all this might with you. Yeah, and really all that might lets me do is fly around the world in one night giving out gifts, and how kind of lets me know who's been bad and who's been good, who's awake and who's asleep. But that's more of all God and Jesus doing as far as that insight goes. Oh, that's sad. That I really, truly wanted, to have my hair back. And I didn't want to be this, this fiend anymore. Well, Medusa, it isn't what you look like on the outside. It's who you are on the inside. Well, thank you for saying that. Jesus saw folks for who they truly were. You know, he saw them for who they truly were. You know, and even though everyone was a sinner, he always had forgiveness and love for everyone. Even those who were friendly to him, and to those who weren't friendly to him, those who were friends to him, and those who were foes to him. And that gift, God gave Jesus to us as a gift. So when I give out those gifts, I am showing. So when I go to meet with folks, I'm showing the love. I also show the forgiveness, and also showing the kindness that Jesus showed others. And those gifts, well, that's the onlook God for giving Jesus to us as a gift. And well, that's enough of that. You know, Santa Claus, Father Yule, I do have a bone to pick with you. And Medusa, I can't believe you're even falling for him. You know, you let me down back in 20-0. How did I let you down back in 20-0? And 20-0 YL on Sunday Night Heat, there were two Santa Clauses that year. One, well, both of them were on Sunday Night Heat. I mean, one was Scotty Too Hottie doing a thing with Taz, and I had you help me get the Dudley Boys to give up their boards. To my understanding, you know, to my understanding, you let me down. Steven Richards, I no way ever worked for your right to clean ship. And even though I have been and even though I've been in every single wrestling business under the sun, and you can go back and look at all those playlists, WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA, AEW, MLW, no way am I ever going to say that I'm sorry for that, because, yeah. And how dare you stop me from talking about Jesus, the Son of God? Oh yeah, this came from a man who stole Yule from Jesus. He didn't steal Yule from Jesus. Yule always has been Jesus' birthday and always will. Oh, so Medusa, when did you shift? When did you all become good? Because I wanted to be good. That's why. Well, main wicker, the TWF, Ric Flair isn't here today. But he did let me say that I do got one oversight that I can make today. So here today, we will have the Little Debbie's Tree Brownie box and Little Debbie's Yule Tree box fight. And that will happen now. Ho, ho, ho! Well, you can see. Now come on here, Taz said. Why would Ric Flair even give give Santa Claus any sway over any booking or writing? It never went well. Taz said, "Ding, are you talking about what happened with you, Taz? Your runs in with Santa Claus back, I guess 20-0 would have been Sunday Night Heat. Scott Taylor. Oh, Medusa knocked him down." Michael Cole says, "And that's why you don't like him?" Yeah, well, guess what? I never did like him then. I don't like him now. Heh heh. Why would anyone give that heifer any sway over anything? Oh! And Medusa just hit Steven Richards with the Little Debbie's, Yule Tree box. And she's not done yet. She's going, Sandra just knocked Medusa down with the Little Debbie's, Yule Tree box. And, down goes Medusa, Michael Cole says. Tony Schiavone said, "We do know Steven Richards would most likely like to be on the bad list if there was a so-called bad list for him to be on." Oh, I like Steven Richards. I liked his work. I got along with him. And I think it'll be great if you can hit Medusa with the Yule Tree Brownies. Here comes Medusa. Oh, he knocked her down again. That'll be so great, Taz says. I don't know how great that would be, Tony Schiavone said. Steven Richards is not, not going to be, well, if he's on the bad list right now for that kind of behaviors. Hitting, scathing Father Yule, guilting him for why he couldn't get Dudley Boys to go to be with his team back in 20 OYL. Tony Schiavone said, hey, and don't forget, Michael Cole says, Taz, weren't you the one who supposedly learned that Santa Claus wasn't up to no good, Michael Cole said. Yeah, that was that Santa Claus. That was the other Santa Claus you speak of, not this creep that came out and made this match. Michael. Here comes, Medusa just kicked the box right into Steven Richards' head, and down goes Steven Richards. The so-called cleaner of the toy wrestling gathering, Michael Cole says. Yeah, Tony Schiavone says, so Taz, you have a love and hate kinship with Father Yule, which I don't understand. And Medusa just body slammed Steven Richards on that box. And that can't feel good, Tony Schiavone said, be slammed on a box. No, I have a hate and kinship with the man, because that's not Santa Claus, because my runs-in with Santa Claus always ended badly. 20-0. I had to help the Dudley Boys out when the Santa Claus came after them on Sunday Night Heat. I got beat up by Scott Taylor going as Santa Claus on Sunday Night Heat. And don't forget about how Santa Claus slighted me in 2004 while after he had his match with Kurt Angle. So no, I'm not a big fan, a big follower of Father Yule, Taz says. Here Steven Richards said, Tony Schiavone says, Steven Richards needs to get up or he's going to be in a bind. Oh, Medusa just landed. She's done. Medusa's out, Michael Cole says. Yes, she is, Tony Schiavone says. Medusa is down. The Steven kick, Tony Schiavone says. And it looks like Steven Richards will get that win over Medusa. Tony Schiavone said, Michael Cole says, Steven kick, Medusa's down. Steven's going to win this match or not. That'll be great, Taz says. See this as your early Yule gift for you Christendom folks. Early gathering of lights gift for you Jewish folks. Early gathering of followership for you black folks out there who don't do Yule. Or the gathering of lights. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner of the Little Debbie's Yule Tree Brownies and Yule Tree Cake Box match, Steven Richards. Well, Steven Richards has won this match here today. And Steven Richards has won this match here today on Dynamite for Michael Cole says. Yes, he has, Tony Schiavone says. He has. And a lot of folks out there, would be... Medusa's got nothing to be ashamed of for losing that match, Michael Cole says. No, she doesn't, Tony Schiavone said. Medusa put in the time, she put in work. Yes, she did, Mike. Yes, you did, Tony. She gave Steven Richards all she could do, and somehow Steven Richards ended up beating her. Are you kidding me? Taz says. Have you forgotten Steven Richards being a 27-time or so WWF, WWE hard middle fighter? No need why Medusa had a hard time beating him. Alright, I guess we'll have to take it away now to, we're going to take it away now to Renee Young. Alright, stand up. Alright, thank you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Steven Richards here today on Dynamite or Mike. Alright, Stephen Richards. You seem to be very high with yourself after what you did with your match with Medusa here today on Stand Up on Dynamite or Mike. First off, Renee Young, Medusa got cleaned. And Father Yule, he let me down in 20-0. You know, a lot of folks like to talk about, oh, we hate cleaning, we hate this and hate that. Well, you know, one man needs to be cleaned for his behaviors is Father Yule, Santa Claus, whatever you want to call him. You know, knowing when children, knowing when folks are awake and when they're asleep, knowing if they've been bad or good, coming into houses, giving out gifts, that seems to be like bad behaviors. First off, Santa Claus only knows when someone's awake or someone's asleep, and that's it. He only knows that they've been bad or good, and that's all the insight that God gives him. Alright? And tell me, Stephen, how would he get into a house to give gifts if he can't go through the smokestack, through the firestead, or through the lead door of a house? I do not know. But all I know is that I taught him a class, and Medusa wants to get in my way again. Then I'll teach her some onlook as well. And she will be cleaned. Well, so I guess you have this. This is a war that is starting between you and Medusa. Just call it a war between me and her if you want. She'll be cleaned. All right. Good luck with that one then. All right. That's my talk with Stand Up. Stand up. That's my talk with Stephen Richards. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Thank you, Renee Young, for talking with Stephen Richards here today on the Dynamite or Mike. And that's all the time we got here for Dynamite or Mike. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone, and with Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone, and with Taz. We hope you like Dynamite or Mike, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact or Hit.